Hey everyone, fresh off of 3 parts of Amnesia to play one more part of Murder, She Wrote. So, let's continue. Harborside Tavern. So, yeah, I'm gonna need a drink.
Oh dear. Looks like this place has fallen on hard times.
It's the only place I know in Cabot Cove that sells Dominican cigars.
Let's ask around and see if anyone remembers Peter spending any time here.
So it sounds to me like somebody would have benefited greatly from Peter dying. At least one person. So now Andy Winters has a little bit of a loan. Okay, I know I saw the taco 2 seconds ago. Feels nice to play something that isn't going to kill me. I'm not even kidding about that. Even though the music is just as sinister, even though it doesn't need it, so you know there's like nothing wrong. And a muffin, so now we play a matching game. Yep, they switch. So it's an odd number of boxes, so here we go! Yay!
There's someone smoking one of the Dominican cigars we found at the crime scene.
That's Mick Foley. I should have known. He's a notorious loan shark. Enjoying your Dominican cigar, Mr. Foley?
As a matter of fact, yeah.
Good answer.
Billy Hammond just surprised an intruder on his uncle's boat who smokes the same kind as you.
I'll save you some trouble, Sheriff. I was on the Cornelia about an hour ago.
At least he's honest.
What were you doing there?
Looking for something to collect on the loan I made to Peter a few months ago. And since Peter wasn't very good at keeping up with the payments alive, he sure ain't gonna keep up with him dead.
Defaulting on a big loan might be considered a motive for murder.
Not really.
Not for me. Peter was worth more to me alive, as long as he didn't retire.
Was he ready for retirement?
Nah, but his nephew Billy couldn't wait to get his hands on the Cornelia. He was always trying to convince Peter to retire instead of taking out loans to keep the business going.
Do you know why Peter fell behind on his payments?
He said the lobsters weren't biting, but I heard through the grapevine he had an ex-wife down in Florida that kept up in the alimony.
Ew. That'd do it.
I see. So where were you last night?
Right here, working out the details of a loan with a customer.
Andy Winters, apparently, going by this contract I found. What do you think of the deal you offered him?
Sorry, I gotta protect my client's confidentiality. Now, if you'll excuse me.
I'll point out something I've noticed
So
about
it would
this.
seem that Andy was telling the truth about his whereabouts last night.
I'm curious what he was planning to use the money for. Let's go talk with him on his boat first thing in the morning.
Okay. Anyone who's a wrestling fan probably recognized the name Mick Foley with something else, which I'm kind of surprised they picked that name for a loan shark, because the wrestler Mick Foley is known to be like a super awesome, nice guy. By the way, Long Islander, motherfucking local he is. He's motherfucking local for me, at least close to it. He's a Long Islander, yeah, so... Just a little aside. Oh, and I have Pete getting in the way again, being all cute. Come here, you goofy-ass cat.
Okay, Andy, we followed up on your alibi at the Harborside Tavern.
You met with Mick Foley there to discuss a loan, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. With the lobsters getting scarce, I needed the money to get through the season. Fortunately, I should be able to pay the loan back before long.
Why is that?
Heard there was a job opening near the docks. Just a little something to do on the side.
You mind if we take a look around?
Go ahead.
Knock yourself out.
Oh, that's what he says, knock yourself. I love that, actually. I actually like that line, knock yourself out, because it kind of implies, you know... I don't care if you, like, hit your head in any trouble or something. There is that last letter in the meantime. And I think they do score you if you find everything, like every key and stuff. Oh, there's the A. Our clue. Anyway, jokes aside, what was I thinking? Oh. Yeah. So, yeah, basically, you know, now we have a general idea of what's going on with the game. I don't really have to explain it, I can just kind of make comments. Like, him going, knock yourself out. So we're pretty much just figuring things out as we go along, getting the clues. Yeah, of course he could do 2 and 2 and figure out that, yeah, he probably picked up on the old job that was taken by the victim. Where's the wire spool? The high voltage sign. So, and again, this music is so not fitting. It's hilarious. I know a lot of people think, no, this one's really boring. Go back to Amnesia. Again, I'm doing this as a cooldown from Amnesia, so I don't drop myself completely batshit with it, because this is something I've noticed is a lot of big Let's Players, if they're doing like 2 Let's Plays at once, will do 2 horror games, and then like not update the horror game for a while doing something else. Or they'll finish it all up and then they'll take a break and play something I have like absolutely no interest in because it's their cooldown. So what I'm doing is I'm getting the cooldown done in between sessions of the horror game because I think it's probably a better idea. So, and even like off season, if I do it, like say, because I also want to do Spooky's House of Jump Scares, I do a few videos up up in private, because the way I do it is I upload videos on private, so I can just kind of like go, okay, it's gonna be released here, 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 and here. Yeah, done. There, go. Bye. Here. So basically, the idea is, you know, when I start doing Spooky's House of Jump Scares, I'm probably going to get another cooldown Let's Play because, you know, at first I thought it wouldn't be so bad. Because even with, like, the cartoony graphics, it was still kind of cute. It was, like, scary, but it didn't seem that scary because I know even with cartoony graphics, it's meant to be, like, fucking freaky. But one of the monsters is kind of getting me really badly. So I'm taking a break from it for now because I promised Amnesia is the Halloween Let's Play. But I haven't even started yet, so that's kind of a preview of what you're going to be seeing, and some of the videos have been a little out of date. So I apologize. Where is that guitar pick? But I'm going to need a cooldown Let's Play with that, so I'm going to have to pick a cooldown Let's Play for it. Actually, what'll be funny is if I end up finishing Amnesia quicker than I expected with, like, the multiple playthroughs I've been doing with it, I may end up doing Spooky's House of Jump Scares if it finishes up before the end of the big Halloween celebration that's 3 months long. So... oh my god, where the fuck is that thing? There it is, okay.
Greg Young sure didn't waste any time finding someone to replace Peter.
I agree. I wonder why he was in such a hurry.
Maybe we should go over to the lab and ask him ourselves.
Not a bad idea. And I'm eating candy because I deserve it, and it's Halloween.
It looks like Andy Winters is your new assistant on your research project.
I know that replacing him so fast may seem inappropriate in light of Peter's death, but I had no choice. Any lapse in the data collection could ruin a whole season's worth of research.
Why are you repainting one of Peter's buoys into Andy's colors?
Easier to repaint it than refit another buoy with a new transmitter.
My cat is chilling out with me. Box of toothpicks, which you look at the picture, like this one actually you need to observe a little bit yourself to realize what she's talking about, but Billy's always chewing on a toothpick. I actually keep toothpicks in my bag too, as well as dental floss for picking teeth, because sometimes it gets a little... So we may have found the murder scene. Anyway, talking aside, but again, now you know what's kind of going on with the channel. Who knows, if you get lucky, I may end up doing Spooky's House of Jump Scares after Amnesia, having 2 Spooky Let's Plays going on. Yay! Bit dry in the house today. How old school can you get? But I'm actually happy that, you know, I'm getting these Let's Plays done, and like I said, every at least 2 sessions of Amnesia, I will play 1 session of Murder, She Wrote. So technically tomorrow I only have to play 1 session of Amnesia to play a session of Murder, She Wrote, because I played 3 today. So, but I'm probably going to just keep trying to do at least 2 a day unless something happens, like I don't have the time, so I'll try to play just 1. And then when I come home, just play Murder, She Wrote, because it's a little easier on the brain. Because usually if it's I have to go somewhere, that usually means I'm gonna be out. Ah, I kind of like this puzzle. And that's why it's kind of neat. Saw those things as very sharp.
You got an explanation for the blood on these shards of glass, Mr. Young?
It's simple enough, Sheriff. I dropped a glass cylinder and cut myself when I went to pick up the pieces, and I have the bandage to prove it.
Any idiot can put a bandage on.
So when was the last time Peter visited your lab?
It had been a while. I usually went by his boat to pick up his data. Hope you don't mind, but I need to get back to crunching numbers.
Blood on the floor and on a possible murder weapon? Seth certainly has his work cut out for him.
I'll have him check the blood against Greg's to see if his story checks out.
Sheriff, I'm pretty sure that Billy Hammond was here at the lab the night Peter was killed.
If he has a good explanation for that, I'd like to hear it.
So we're going back to the Cordelia to talk to Billy about this.
Sheriff, Mrs. Fletcher, what can I do for you?
You can tell us what you were doing at the Marine Research Lab the night your uncle was killed.
What? I was never there.
Dude?
I'm afraid you were, Billy. We found the toothpicks you're always chewing in a wastebasket there.
Toothpick right here.
Okay, maybe I did go there. I knew Peter was heading that way and I needed to talk to him.
About what?
About getting a better percentage. Lately, his catches had been better than average, and I figured I was entitled to more. But when I finally got up the courage to ask him for a raise, he fired me on the spot.
And what about his promise to leave you the boat?
He said I'd never inherit the Cornelia.
So you killed him, right?
No. I mean, I lost it and knocked his lights out, but I sure didn't kill him.
What happened after that?
Nothing. I just left him there. I have no idea how he ended up back on the Cornelia.
Sheriff, if what Billy says is true, then someone else stabbed Peter and killed him.
Maybe so, but his motive is hard to ignore.
Billy, do you have any idea what sort of numbers Peter was recording for his lobster catches?
Low for most of the season. But then a couple of months ago, we started getting lucky and began catching a lot more.
Really? else just a little suspicious of that? So, it was really a shitty season until something gave those two a bit of luck. But what could it have been? There's a padlock. Nice. Boy, wasn't really... In a way, this helps because what it does is it clears everything out so I can just find what I actually need. Mug, now to find the putty knife. Creepy. Not really. This is kind of the dullest of the cases, I think, because the twist is kind of cool, but otherwise it's kind of just... Also previously cooked.
Why would someone fill a trap with lobsters that have already been caught?
Maybe Jim Price can sort this out. Let's go talk with him.
Good idea.
Looks like Jim is out back with some fishermen.
Oh, we shouldn't bother him while he's doing business, Sheriff. Let's just take a quick look around the store while we wait.
This is like every snoopy old lady's dream, is to be able to do this and actually make a big difference. So we can find that last letter before we finish this little area up so quickly. Oh, there it is. Sorry. Finding a lot of interesting stuff, aren't we? Yeah, I'm actually very happy with myself right now. Doing a bunch of playthroughs of Amnesia, followed by, well... Actually, what I'll do for each chapter is I'll do like an in-between, an interim, where I talk about what I thought of the previous case, except for obviously the final one where I'll just talk about it right then and there. So that'll probably be a good idea. This way there's like a little extra buffer so the two line up a bit better, I guess.
Hey, what are you doing here? We're closed.
We were hoping you could clear something up for us.
How's the lobster season been so far this year?
Good. Best season we've had in years.
But Jim, if the catch has been so good, why are your tanks nearly empty now? And why did you have so few lobsters yesterday morning that you sent me to Peter instead?
Well,
Speaking of Peter's catch, you got an explanation for how a lobster can get into a trap already banded with one of your bands?
You were putting lobsters from your tanks into Peter's traps, weren't you, Jim? That's why you have that searchlight, to help you find his traps at night.
Okay, yeah, I was. It was costing me plenty, too, since I had to buy them back from him once he hauled them in.
Why go through all that trouble?
Because my business depended on it. Look, if the Marine Research Lab confirms that there are low numbers of lobsters being caught, the government's gonna start imposing limits on how many lobsters the guys can bring in.
This is something I have a problem with. I'll get into it in a minute.
And that, in turn, would limit how many you have available for sale.
So you stacked the deck.
Well, that's one way to put it, yeah. I went out after dark, hauled Peter's traps, and stocked them with extra lobsters so that the numbers he reported to the lab looked good.
Let me guess. Peter caught you tinkering with his gear, threatened to tell Greg you skewed the data, so you killed him.
No, Peter was clueless.
Besides, Sheriff, if Jim was successfully stacking the deck, then Peter was worth more to him alive than dead.
Okay, but don't take any last-minute vacations.
Jim couldn't have put those lobsters in Peter's traps by himself. He would have had to have help from someone with a boat.
Yeah, and from the evidence we've seen, I bet that it's Andy who's been doing the helping. Tomorrow we'll have another early morning interview with him.
Okay, we're almost done with this part of the Let's Play.
Seth called me last night. He said the blood traces on those broken pieces of glass match Peter's blood type and not Greg's.
Uh-oh.
So he was definitely killed at the lab with that broken glassware?
It looks that way. Maybe Greg had a motive we haven't figured out yet. Or maybe Andy made a stop at the lab after he left the Harborside Tavern. Or maybe he and Mick are covering for each other because they killed Peter together.
Well, we can ask Andy about it right now. His boat is right over there.
Well...
Oh, dear. Poor Andy.
Looks like someone got to him before we did, Mrs. F.
I kind of liked Andy. It's kind of sad he got killed. But anyway, what I was going to talk about with Jim, because we're not going to get to Andy's murder until next time. I may play one more thing of Amnesia, and then I can play one more thing of this just to see if I can at least get closer to finishing up this case. What Jim was doing was irresponsible to the nth degree. I know a lot of you are going to be saying, well, he's just trying to keep his business afloat and keep, allow the fishermen to be able to get... Like, no, the reason the government, and I know a lot of you out there hate the government because apparently government automatically equals evil because you're all stupid! Never mind. Sorry. The reason the government imposes those limits is because it gives the lobsters a chance to reproduce a bit more and repopulate, meaning make more lobsters, because if you fish lobsters to extinction, you lose your business. This is a long-term thing, not a short-term thing. Jim was thinking in the short term, and it would have cost him a lot more in the long term. Why didn't, they explain that to him? Why didn't, somebody tell him this? So the government has a very good reason for doing that. Sorry, I kind of have this thing. My political stance is the middle is the best view. And I don't say that because I think exclusively moderate views are a good thing. Sometimes they're not. I say that because when you start in the middle, you can look at all the viewpoints as long as you keep tethered to the middle, meaning you can go back to the middle easily, you can kind of go to an extreme, see, okay, feel the waters there a little bit, and then go back a little bit or a lot if you feel it's too much. This is something I wish most people in the political atmosphere would figure out, because I see a lot of extremist stuff and I literally just want to hit them in the head with a fucking mallet, alright? It pisses me off to an extreme degree, unfortunately. Which is why I kind of snapped for a second. Anyway, next time we will investigate Andy Winter's murder, which was one that kind of saddens me a little bit. I kind of liked Andy's character. I don't know why. Maybe he reminds me of my dad a little bit, but I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!